So I'm only going to be on here probably for like 20 minutes, but I have to throw shade at certain people because, yeah, some people just need the shade. So, on the lighter note before I throw the shade, Neera Tanden, who was originally considered for the position as the director of OMB, which is the Office of Management and Budget, got a new job. So her new job is, I got to get the official title of Neera Tanden's job, because it's an official title, of course. Neera Tanden's new job. Wagwan Queen Lion. She is the director, the senior director, and she's a senior advisor to the Senate Budget Committee. So she has direct access to the president. So she's one of the senior advisors overseeing all the communications from the Senate Budget Committee. So guess who's reporting to Ms. Tanden? The chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. And guess who's the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee? Bernard Sanders of Vermont. So, some people seem to not be thrilled that Neera Tanden has joined the Biden and Harris administration. I mean, Neera Tanden is a longtime Democratic ally. She served in the Obama administration. She was the senior advisor to Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign before joining the Obama administration. And she was a surrogate, I believe, to Joe Biden, like a national surrogate. And she's just a longtime ally to the party. So why Joseph Robinette Biden, President Biden, would not have her in this administration? That's dumb. And she's the most experienced and the most progressive. But Nick seemed to have a problem. Nick is a Frank Hampton socialist. That's who it is, aka Socialist MMA. Seemed to have a problem. So this is his tweet. Neera Tanden, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, all those losers do is fell up in the Democratic Party. Joe Biden was a disgraced candidate. Kamala Harris was rejected by her own community and state. Pete Buttigieg was rejected by the Black community and the Latino community. We can't vote those people out. American politics is a giant grift, coming from the grifter himself, according to his page on Patreon, because I have a screenshot of that. Support me on Patreon and support my work on PayPal. That's his page on Patreon. And then I guess he tweeted erratically, because I guess he's really having like the serious mental breakdown. So here's another series, I believe, of tweets that he had. I screenshot it just for proof, because it's always important to have receipts. Another one is, he said this, and I guess this is a really mental breakdown. Need to find a girl who loves me the way Joe Biden loves funding genocide and arming terrorists. I'll read that again. Need to find a girl who loves me the way Joe Biden loves funding genocide and arming terrorists. So I tweeted this. I screenshot it and I tweeted this. Nick is literally going through some things. Midlife crisis at that. As my grandma always says, God bless the deceased. Every dog has its day. And guess what? Nick, Miss Gray, Mr. Serrata, Miss Harper, Miss Ball, and many others on the far left, the grifting left, the grifting socialists. They're going through some shit. As I said nearly 2 months ago. Well, it's actually going to be 2 months this week, starting Wednesday. The 2-month anniversary of me putting out that list and saying the following progressives will be going through some things. And Nick is on that list. So Nick, I did not put you on a creepy list. I put you on a list of people that's going to experience karma. Because why? Because you and those on that list have targeted people like me who loved the work of Kamala Harris, who supported the work of Kamala Harris. And no, I am not a fan. I'm a supporter. That's the difference. Supported the legislation she passed, supported the policies that she is advocating for people like me in terms of getting out of poverty, let's see, maternal health, black women health, etc. So no, I'm not a fan. And I'm not a cultist, whatever that is. I'm not. So you can take your grifting ass somewhere else. Make sure you keep up your Patreon because you're tweeting something where you want people to support your work. I heard some stuff on your podcast. You don't really say anything substantive. All you do is tie the Democratic Party to oligarchy. Last time I checked, the Democratic Party is not an oligarchy and it's not a dictatorship and it's not an authoritarian party. It's a party that embraces many views. You don't just have leftist Democrats. You have liberal Democrats. You have the center Democrats. You have the moderate Democrats. And then you have the conservative Democrats. That's called a Big Tent party. Embracing different ideas. And the last time I checked, being a progressive, you're embracing new liberal ideas, but you're also inviting people to the party, inviting people to share those views with you. You guys don't invite people. All you guys do is criticize people if they don't agree with you and grift off the same people that you advocate for. If you were really about those progressive ideals, you wouldn't have been taking money for people. You would actually be doing this commentary that I do for free. And I do this for free because I don't need people's money. I don't need to make money off the backs of people that hardly makes $15 an hour. Like you. And Ryan. And Bree. Y'all struggling to keep y'all Patreon because those people that listen to you don't have the money to support you. And your $1 million homes. I don't know about you, Nick. But I can say that for Ryan. At least he got a home. A nice home. So to all of you, quote unquote, socialist, y'all can all shut the fuck up and eat a dick. But I did this for a reason, to read that person and also to read these white moderates. Let me tell y'all something. And the mainstream media. Stop praising Elizabeth Lynn Cheney as a hero. It's sickening and it's annoying as fuck. I'm so sick of looking at that lady on my TV screen. I am. Although the way she was ousted was wrong, but she's no angel. She was silent on a lot of things that the former guy did. Like a lot of it. Like a whole lot of it. From his policies of kids in cages to that 2017 disastrous tax bill that taxed the shit out of people like me that live in a blue state. Being silent on, when he said there's fine people on both sides, calling white supremacists good people. She was silent on him withholding the money for the Ukraine government for their military. that got his ass impeached nearly 2 years ago. Silent on his bungled response on COVID-19. Even denying the election from the beginning, and now she spoke up because a whole ass insurrection happened, like her life was in danger. Why the fuck are we praising Elizabeth Lynn Cheney as a hero? Because for once in her life she told the truth? I don't understand. I really don't. But I'm not giving no sympathy to nobody. I'm not giving sympathy to the 55% that voted for Donald Trump. I'm not giving sympathy to the 18% of black men that voted for Donald Trump, nor the 8% of black women that voted for Donald Trump. Nope, I'm not giving no sympathy. None. So y'all can miss me with that bullshit. But back to these white leftists. I need to read the definition of progressive so it could come clear as day, because it seemed like people get this whole definition of certain things wrong. So let me just go here. Absolutely. No lies told. Yep. And I'm not giving no sympathy for nobody. So, progressive is an adjective. So, progressive, the first definition is happening or developing gradually or in stages, proceeding step by step. Number 2, of a group, person, or idea favoring or implementing social reform or new liberal ideas. The noun for progressive is a person advocating or implementing social reform or new liberal ideas. 2, a progressive tense or aspect. So, the reason why I read this, because I learned as a child progressive, and even as like in middle school and high school, is something that is new, but it takes time. That's gradual. But it seemed like that whole ideal has been colonized. And yes, I'm saying colonized because the progressives that I grew up around in New York City and Harlem were more so black. Some white, but not all white. Most so black. And the stuff that they advocated for a long time, it took a minute. And they had to meet with other people that did not think like them to invite them to the fold. That's an example of progressivism. And it eventually got shit done. But apparently, since 2015, since the 2016 Democratic primaries and election, the term progressivism and progressive has been colonized and has been weaponized by white leftist 20-something to 40-something-year-old men. And yes, that is the truth. Because why? Because an older white man in his 70s decided that he was the inventor and the founding father of progressive values. And I'm going to keep it real. I never heard of Bernie Sanders, honestly, until 2015. I heard of Hillary Clinton. I heard of Nancy Pelosi. I heard of my senator, Chuck Schumer, who was actually a progressive. I heard of Kristen Sinema, my other senator who's progressive. I heard of Maxine Waters, Barbara Lee, Karen Bass, Joyce Beatty, Adriano Espaillat, my congressman, Hakeem Jeffries, Yvette Clarke, Gregory Meeks. There's a whole bunch of people that I heard of that actually advocate for progressive values. And even Charles Rangel, my former congressman. And John Conyers, which John Conyers is the original author for Medicare for All, not Bernie Sanders. So when Bernie Sanders came on the national stage and gained national profile and talked about the corporate class and all this bullshit, these white men, young leftist white men from 25, or I should say 20 to 40, started claiming the progressive route. So here's my take on this. And it may sound cold, but I don't care at this point. You guys claiming to be progressive are the same ones who had parents that voted for the Republican Party all their lives. Conservatives, staunch conservatives, and your parents are Reagan conservatives. Yeah, I said that. You guys was not about change. Just because you think differently like your parents, I still don't trust you. Because behind my back, you'll call me a nigger. But besides that rant, Bernie Sanders is not a true progressive. If he was, 7 of the bills that's enacted under his 422 bills that he proposed would have been enacted in law. That actually would have been changing this country. But obviously, that's not the case. You know who has a progressive record? The current president and the current vice president. And the current president, who's been in the Senate for 36 years, his bills each year were enacted. And I have a screenshot on some of them, because it's always important to share the truth. And I got it for govtrack.gov. I forgot what the website is, but I'll put it, on my page one of these days. But you got to tell the truth. Where is it? Here we go. So, then Senator Joe Biden of Delaware enacted some of the following. Criminal History Background Checks Pilot Extension Act of 2008. Here goes some other ones. Protect Our Children Act of 2008. Recidivism Reduction and Second Chance Act of 2007. A bill to waive the passport fees for a relative of a deceased member of armed services proceeding abroad to visit the grave of such a family member to attend a funeral or a memorial service for such member. What is this other one? A bill to provide that the executive director of an Inter-American Development Bank or the alternative executive director of an Inter-American Development Bank may serve on the board of directors or whatever. But the main ones that I'm looking for is Protect Our Children Act of 2008, Recidivism Reduction and Second Chance Act of 2007. And the reason why I'm eyeing those, because people have spread lies about the president and the vice president. Well, we know about the vice president record. It's been debunked so many times of, people try to lie on her. But people are still keeping up with Mr. Biden. And they're talking about his record of what is it? He is responsible for the crime bill, even though he's the author of the crime bill. But they did not talk about this recidivism act that he enacted in 2007. They didn't talk about that, and then not talk about Protect Our Children Act. The president has a very progressive legislative record. It dates back from the 1970s. Stuff that he was advocating for, nobody didn't even do anything on the Senate floor during his tenure. His 36-year tenure. Even though he proposed the crime bill, but he proposed a bill that enacted recidivism, second chance, reducing people to not go to jail, right? To stay out of prison. So when I hear this shit from these far leftist white men and their female counterparts and even some of their abolitionist allies, aka the black leftists, talk about the president's record, even though he's not that perfect, because no politician is perfect in my eyes, they should do their research on his enacted legislation. Because the truth to be told, they don't want to do that research because his legislative record is more progressive than Bernie Sanders' legislative record. Because Bernie Sanders' legislative record, which is 7 bills enacted in his 30-year tenure in Congress in both chambers, 15-year split, he enacted bills that, changed the name of 2 major or 3 major post offices, and veterans, which that more veterans were conservative with John McCain. That's not progressive. So all the stuff that he was advocating for during the 2016 primaries and the 2020 primaries is not his legislative record. That's enacted bills. That's why Stephanie Rule called his ass out a couple months ago. And she was right to do that. The president, on the other hand, has more of a social justice progressive record. And you could do the research. So to sum all of this shit up, I don't understand why the mainstream media fails to tell the truth about him and the vice president, which the vice president was the co-founder of the Back on Track program that reduced recidivism as well. Because of her, many DAs and even some AGs start those kind of programs and nonprofits. Her model. Like, this is what I'm talking about. The mainstream media regurgitating some of this white bro-socialist colonized progressive narratives. It's really annoying and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I get so irritated because nobody tells the truth. See, I read. Yes, I'm a bookworm. I'm a nerd. All of this, but I read. And reading is important and research is important. No matter what field you're in, you can be a psychologist, you can be a historian, you can be a economic expert, you can be a business person. I'm a business person, I'm a nonprofit professional, but it's important to know things and to state the facts. So to the mainstream media, this message is for you. Stop regurgitating the colonized progressive message. It's whack as hell. It's dishonest as fuck. Because it's going to turn people like me off. I'm just saying. And to the white male leftists, I'm speaking to you. You guys are not progressive. You guys never done anything progressive. You guys don't advocate for social change. Just because you marched this past summer don't mean shit. You're still not an ally and you're not to be trusted. And if you got a problem with what I said, then fuck off. Because I'm telling the truth. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. And to your abolitionist allies, the black leftists, regurgitating that colonized progressive message, You guys are being dishonest as fuck. And you guys being duped. You are. You're not inviting people to the fold. People like me. Who actually has more liberal views than your white counterparts. But y'all want to call my black ass a centrist. A neoliberal shill. How fucking dare you? Disrespect someone like me. Who grew up around progressives. Who want to see people have their fair share. Who want to see people rise up to certain levels and positions. But no. Y'all want to call me an op. If anyone's the op, it's y'all. Whoever's the Benedict Arnold is y'all. So to the Breonna Grays of the world, and all the other black leftists of the world, including Nina Turner, you guys are doing a disservice to black people. Black people who want to be a part of the fold. Who actually want to embrace new liberal ideas, aka progressive ideas. And that's why I will not defend y'all. I won't. And I will not. So don't ask me to. But overall, these millennial progressives need to do their research on what it means to be a progressive. Because obviously, they got shit all fucked up. So my advice for y'all, read a book before y'all claim shit. But until then, you stay safe, stay masked up. I know the CDC says if you are fully vaxxed, you can walk out with your mask off. Nope. Pandemics last at least for 2 years. If you read the the influenza of 1918, you know for certain that this pandemic is here and it ain't going nowhere. No time soon. It's here to stay. So please wear your mask and wash your hands and socially distance and get vaccinated. Until then, you have a good night.